Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be going over my sump setup that's behind me. For anyone who's new to the channel, the sump is in the basement and it is plumbed to the upstairs 150-gallon Innovative Marine display tank that I have, as well as the 50-gallon LowBoy frag tank that I have in the basement. We'll be going over how I plumbed the two aquariums into one system, what I have running in the sump, so it's a super simple setup we'll go over, as well as the automation that I have over here behind me, which is far more complicated. So we'll go over that. Stay tuned. So we started off by drilling 4 holes in the floorboard upstairs and ran flexible piping all the way down to the sump. The flex pipe made it a lot easier to accommodate for the frag tank, because I was able to easily just move my plumbing around. Normally this is the main drain and it sits over here, and then this is the secondary drain. It's more of a trickle, and that would sit over here. But due to the fact that I've plumbed a frag tank in, this spot has been repossessed. So right now I have my main, my secondary, and the emergency line going right into the second compartment. So Fiji Cube comes with 2 options here. You could either do filter floss or 2 filter socks. I prefer the filter floss. From my experience when I was using filter socks on my old aquarium, I would go about a week before I replaced it, which was probably far too long, and that's why I had probably higher nitrates and phosphates. I'm using a filter floss this time around, which I really love, and this guy gets filled up at least once every 2 days. I tend to replace it once every day or 2 days. This one has been in here for 2 days, and it's pretty dirty, and water's having difficulty going through it right now. So normally what I do is I'll come here and I'll lift this up, carry it over to this bucket that I have, and then I'll drain it in that bucket. And as you can see, the water, it's maybe hard to tell, but the water is not clean at all. So I make sure to wring my filter sock or floss in a bucket to avoid having to put the nitrates and phosphates right back into the aquarium. Once I'm done wringing the filter floss, I grab a new one from this bucket that I pre-cut about 2 months supply. And this lasts me 2 months, and it takes me about half an hour to do. So I'll put that in here. It's super simple, and I replace this like once every 2 days at most. Sometimes I'll put a second layer if I really want to clean the water further. So at the back here I have 2 100-watt heaters. For my tank volume I need at least 200 watts, but my secondary compartment here in the Fiji is too small to accommodate an Eheim heater. The Eheim 200-watt heater are very long, and so this really is the only spot in the entire sump that I'm able to locate my heaters. I really wanted to go with the Eheim brand, and I'm actually pretty happy with having 2. This means I'm never worried about one of them breaking and overheating and the whole tank dies, which I've had an experience like that in the past. So this one over here is connected to my Apex, and the one on the left is connected to like an external controller. So that one's located right here. So I have 2 controllers connected to each one of them. Once the water comes all the way down and passes through the biological media, there's an opening here, and the water can make its way into the secondary compartment. I have my baffles, as you can see here. There's graduated. I'm gonna get a little closer so you can see. These are numbered baffles. I have mine on the lowest setting just because I have a frag tank connected to this, and when power goes out I have about an inch of space left before the sump overflows. So all my baffles are set at the lowest level. I really love the baffles. The colors on this sump by Fiji Cube are amazing. I have a skimmer in this chamber and a really old plug-and-play UV sterilizer. I honestly don't know if this sterilizer is still working. It's over a year and a half old, and generally you need to replace the bulbs every year. Additionally, this is only a 24 watt, and for my system volume, I think I would need minimum 50 for it to really do the trick. But anyway, I still have it. Probably one day we'll see if I could open it up and service it. But that one was easy to install without having to redo all my plumbing, and was very helpful during a dinoflagellate outbreak. But at the moment it's just chilling in there. Not really a main technology within my tank, but the skimmer is one that I really love. It has this little like viewing window opening, which was good I guess as a concept, but I don't use it. I've removed the piece of plastic that's in the center there, and I've temporarily turned off my skimmer so you guys can hear me talking. What I really love about this skimmer, and I think all skimmers in the future should have it, is this line that's connected to the back, and I just have it drain right into a 5-gallon bucket. I also have, as you can see, this other clear connection here. It's my Trident. I have my Trident connected. This accumulates skimmate as well as the Trident liquid. So I change it about every 2 weeks. I think I empty this 2 weeks, yeah. At the back here, I have my probes, and really that's everything that is located in the middle compartment. So really old plug-and-play UV sterilizer, my skimmer, and my probes at the back. From there, the sump overflows into this compartment. It's a fairly small compartment, but it is meant for like a refugium or something of those sorts. I'm using it for my return pump for the frag tank. I've tried Cheeto in the past, especially when my levels were a lot lower. My nitrates and phosphates were very low, and that's when I noticed how low they were because my Cheeto kept dying. So I started dosing nitrates and phosphates to get it up. Then I decided I need to stop dosing nitrates and phosphates. I just need to feed my corals a ton. So that's what I do now. I feed the corals in order to maintain higher nitrates and phosphates. This over here is a Brightwell Purite bag. It's supposed to be sitting in the lower flow area, so that's why it's here. It's like a fancy carbon of some sort. I've been using it for the last 2 months because my last ICP test had a high level of aluminum, and I'm hoping this will help. I did a water change and I put in the Purite to help bring down my aluminum levels. I sometimes run carbon. When I do run carbons, I also put it in a little baggie and I shove it underneath the filter floss over here in a high filter area, flow area. I've had a reactor here, but I was really bad at maintaining it, so carbon bags, they're a lot easier for me to maintain. So once the water reaches this chamber, it overflows into the final chamber over here. This is my return for the main tank that's upstairs. I'm also connected to an old school float valve instead of the new modern digital ones. I've used a Tunzi before, and I'm happy with my float valve, so I'm going back to the basics this time. It connects to a piece of acrylic that was already part of the Fiji Cube Sump, so that one was easy to install. I'm pretty sure it installs with any type of auto top off. And then Fiji also has these bots here for dosing. I'm running alkalinity, calcium, and magnesium in here. One other thing that the Fiji Sump came with was these lids that went on top in order to avoid dirt going inside as well as precipitation. I removed them because I'm sitting at 70% humidity down here as is, and with the covers on I was experiencing, like in this corner here, on the inside. Obviously in this corner here I was experiencing like white fuzz that did not look like salt creep, guys. It looked like it was some mold or mildew. I really don't know the difference, but it did not look good or normal, so I had that removed. And I sometimes I'll see like a mold and mildew build up now, but it's pretty rare. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. I am not running any refugium or algae scrubber. I also don't run Roaphos on this tank. The reason why I believe I can get away with having no nutrient export is the fact that for my water volume, I've kept my fish stock on the low side. That is just by choice. If you guys are looking to stock your fish medium to heavy, you will likely need to find a way to export the nutrients. So a couple things that I feel are working to my benefit is that lower fish stock I just mentioned, wringing this out into the bucket like every single day, every 2 days, keeping that super clean. And I also don't feed very heavy. When I feed food that is heavy with vitamins. I soak it in Salcom, but I don't feed very frequently. I generally feed once to twice a day at most, and they're not large feedings for my fish. So that's how I manage to maintain a reef tank with no nutrient export, pretty much no water changes, small amount of carbon dosing, and it's working for me. Obviously I have a much larger water volume than some of you guys, so that's something to be mindful of, is the fact that, you know, I'm running about 200 gallons of water here. So I think that's everything for this sump. As you can see, like this is the return line, goes all the way back up. For my frag tank, I just turned off all the lights. So here we've got two connections. I've got a oh, it's hard to see. Over here I've got a 3/4 bulkhead that just zigzags, as well as a 1-inch drain over here, and we just plumb it to the sump. The issue that I've been experiencing is the fact that this is a very small decline. It's about 10 inches between my sump and the height of this frag tank. Ideally, the sump would be lower, frag tank would be slightly higher, so you have more of a decline. That's why I don't have a gate valve on my drain for the frag tank, because I need as much flow going down that pipe as humanly possible. So far it's working. It's not perfect. When I first set up the tank, it was overflowing. That's why you have this piece of sticker here. I was trying to monitor the level, and I just need to get around to taking that off. But yeah, it's just one return line and a drain. If I had to redo it again, I might do 2 drains on this tank, especially with the fact that I have such a small decline. But if you had a much bigger decline, I think 1 drain is perfectly fine. So from there, we can step over to my automation system. So I finally managed to shove all the wires at the back here. Obviously, I'm running an Apex. This is the power bar for the Apex, the brain for the Apex, and these are my 2 return pumps for the frag tank and the main tank. I'm running a Comor F4 Pro doser, and right now we have calcium, alkalinity, magnesium, and kalkwasser connected to this doser. I do not plan to keep the kalkwasser connected to this. This is an interim solution until I think I'm going to try and get the Ecotech Vectra pump. Right now it's sitting, my calc is sitting in a 5-gallon bucket, which lasts me a week, and for me that is way too high maintenance to have to refill it every week. So I plan on getting like a 32-gallon brute bucket where I can fill it up maybe once a month, premix all the calc, and then run it through the Ecotech Vectra doser. Over here I have the dosing containers. Right now I don't have anything in here. Sometimes when I carbon dose, I've filled this up with vinegar. I've carbon dosed with vinegar before, which I really liked. And right now I'm carbon dosing with a Fauna Bacto blend, I think it's called. So that happens maybe once a week, if anything. We've got our calcium, your alkalinity, calcium, and your magnesium. My magnesium got a little dirty, so I have to clean this out. And these containers are 1.5 liters, which is really nice. I'm very low on them right now, but if you trust your doser, you can fill it up all the way to the top, and you don't have to refill this for quite some time. This is the Skims brand, by the way. Had to get this from BRS. And the last thing that's connected to this main tank is an ozone generator. Now, I know not a lot of people have ozone, and this is fairly new to me. I so far really like it, and I can do a whole video on ozone after, but this also contributes to my reef tank success, getting all that bad nutrient out without doing much water changes or having nutrient export systems. On this section here, I also have a dose, which you guys are probably wondering why I haven't talked about it yet, but this is not connected to my main system. It is connected to an aquarium that I have over here on the side. This is more of a quarantine tank that I have. It's really ugly right now, and we could discuss that in another video, but it's another tank. Since I don't maintain it, this is a auto water setup. It's connected to a brute bucket and just does water changes for me because, again, I'm lazy. So auto water change for the tank to my right, as well as the heater for the tank to the right. Well, thank you guys for joining. I hope that was as in-depth as you needed it to be. If you have any questions, further questions on the setup, please shoot me a message in the comments below and I will answer you. Have a great day.